Welcome to my channel. So why am I doing this? I ask myself the same question. 19 going on 20. I lived in America for 2.5 months. For the first month I spent in Texas. I was helping with a kids camp, a Christian kids camp. I'd been to kids camps in Ireland, in Waterford. So we had a group of Americans who would always come out every year to help with the camp. So myself and my sisters, we would go down every year. At first we were like part of the camp, like as kids. After that we wanted to be helpers. So we would be helpers at the kids camp, and we got to meet a bunch of really, really great people, made really good friends in the States, in Texas specifically. And so my sister and I were like, all right, okay, so like it's first year of uni's done. Let's go on a J1 work travel visa trip thing. Yeah, cool. Great idea. We had no money. The idea was to get this visa that would allow us to work in the States, to live, work, and travel, so we would be able to earn money as well as travel and see things. So we didn't think we needed to go with, money. The day after exams were over, we were off to the States. It was our first time to the States. Like, okay, now I'm Nigerian. I was born in Nigeria. I was raised in Nigeria. Like, it'd been at that point maybe 8 years living in Ireland. Ask me why. We flew in through Atlanta, Georgia, and we were looking at each other like, oh my gosh, there's so many Black people. Seriously, it was funny. It was hilarious, but at 19, I don't know why. Sounds funny, right? But think about it. 8 years not seeing people from your race, except for your family, really. Basically, yeah, that was a very, very interesting experience for us, because it'd been a long time, I guess, since we'd been in an environment where majority of people were Black. So call that strange. I don't know what you make of it, but that's my experience and I'm sticking with it. We got to Texas and we were picked up by our friends, good friends of ours, and we went to this kids camp and we stayed there for 4 weeks in Texas. Now, in America, in Texas particularly, public transportation is, in comparison to Europe, I would say non-existent. Let's just say that. You'd have to drive. And me, I did not have a driver's license. I did not have a car. I didn't have anything. My sister either. So we were pretty much stuck. So funny story. So very, very hot. Texas, oh my gosh, it was like painfully hot. Painful. There was like a little community pool area that like a little, I want to say amusement park. Anyway, in the area. So our friend dropped us off and she was like, do you want me to pick you up? And at that time, like cell phones weren't really like, you can't just get data on your cell phone. Like you couldn't just be like, now you go to a different country and then you just, especially if it's out of the continent of Europe, you couldn't just be like, oh yeah, I just have my cell phone here and I make a call on whatever format, like WhatsApp. But it was literally like a phone that I had to get an American SIM card. It was just crazy times. It was not like it was today. I know it's 10 years ago, believe it or not, but it was not like it was today. The ease of things was not the same. I remember we have no money. Like we're like praying for this job that we thought would materialize, and it never did. So we went to this community pool, and my friend was like, oh yeah, do you want me to pick you up? We're like, no, we'll call you if we do, but we'll be able to find our way back, right? It was only around the corner. It was like the left and the right and the left. Now mind, if you know me, you know that I do not do well with directions. I could walk out of a room and say, did I come in from the left or from the right? Like, that's just walking out of a room that I've just been in. Imagine me trying to get directions back to a house, an apartment block. We were like, yeah, we'll be fine. Like 1,000,000 degrees heat, like might as well have been 1,000,000. And we went to this amusement park, to the pool, blah, 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 finished off, and we were like trying to get home and we got lost. Now, walking in that kind of heat, people were looking at us like crazy. They were like, cars were driving by going, what is wrong with them? Did they mean to do that? What's going on there? We would stop a car and say, sorry, do you know where like we barely wrote down the like address of the place. We barely remembered the name of the apartment block area. We barely we just thought we would rely on our memory. Okay, kids, don't rely on your memory. Write everything down. This is why today I am very, very, very detailed, administrative. I will make plans till the moon and the sun. I am not kidding. This taught me a lot. Write everything down. Don't just rely on your memory. Anyway, we were walking around like crazy, like sweating. I've never sweat so much in my life. I'm kidding you not. I've never sweat so much in my life. Long story short, we did not find our way. We had a little umbrella trying to keep us from the sun. We didn't find our way. We ended up somehow calling our friend, or she called us because she was wondering where we were at. We had no way to call out, but she could call us. So she was like, "Where are you? Are you guys okay?" We were like, yeah, we're lost. So, so she came to pick us up. It actually turned out that we were always around the corner from the apartments, and we were going around in circles the whole time. We also flew to Los Angeles, and we lived in LA for a week. Crazy story. We ended up living in the corner of a room in a flat with 3 other people in the room, and it was advertised as a room. And from LA for a week, we ended up in New York, in the Bronx. Yes, in the Bronx. I lived in the Bronx for like a month, and that had its own crazy. I ended up in someone's basement for the night, myself and my sister. Strangers, by the way, strangers' basement. Future Yudi knows now. Don't worry, she's a lot more sensible. Thankfully, nothing bad happened, and we got to the airport the next day safe. My time in America for 2.5 months, from Texas to LA to New York, and also visited Virginia. We visited Washington State. Absolutely amazing. I would do it again, but without being silly. Yeah, there was a lot of silly. So there is the second thing of 2010, day 2 of 30.